This episode is brought to you by KPMG. Making an impact is how KPMG helps make the difference. KPMG applies advanced tools and strategic thinking to convert data into actionable knowledge and deliver value by improving performance through transformation, modernizing processes with technology, harnessing the power of data, navigating complex M&A transactions, and enhancing trust among stakeholders. Go to kpmg.us/advisory to learn more. KPMG. Make the difference.
This is Rob Long with Martini Shot for The Ankler. Young people in this city, a 60-ish native New Yorker said to me last week, don't even know what mugger money is. And he went on to explain that mugger money was the small wad of bills that most New Yorkers would carry around with them between the mayoral administrations of, John Lindsay and David Dinkins. Mugger money was what you kept with you because you expected to be mugged eventually, and you needed something to hand over to placate the attacker and persuade him not to kill you. It was kept separately from your actual money in your actual wallet, and my friend told me that some of his more theatrical friends would keep their mugger money in a dressed-up fake wallet, and then you'd toss that to the mugger and you'd make a run for it. The criminal would get some cash, and the victim would get to keep the bulk of the money along with the ID stuff, the credit cards, all that stuff that's a bureaucratic nightmare to replace. And so it was, as social scientists might say, win-win. It was just a tax you paid for living in the crime-infested, dangerous, most exciting city in the world, the city that never sleeps. And it wasn't all that long ago either. I remember when the windows of nearly every parked car in the city, there was a handwritten sign addressed to just petty thieves in general and drug addicts looking for a quick score. No radio in car. Remember that? Now, that same mugger money friend also remembers growing up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, which is now one of the swankiest and expensive quarters of the city, during the early 1970s, which was a time when apparently that neighborhood was being terrorized by a sex criminal who, castrated young boys, or tried to. Charlie Chopoff, the neighborhood kids called him, as in keep an eye out for Charlie Chopoff when you're playing in the park. Now, the kids still played in Riverside Park and freely roamed the neighborhood, as was the usual thing back then. The presence of a psychopath was something that they and their parents just factored in. They just took it in stride. It was just another gruesome reminder that things were sliding inexorably into chaos in the most exciting city in the world, the city that never sleeps. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, they said to each other, because no one expected the police to be effective, and they weren't actually, because that case is still unsolved. Crime just is, New Yorkers told themselves for nearly 40 years. You put a sign in your car, you keep an eye out for Charlie Chopoff, you get your mugger money ready, you make adjustments. Yeah, but got to live your life, right? Mugger money is just an accommodation you make to walk the streets. So, obviously, when we're talking about psychos and muggers and thieves, we are also talking about show business. All of us in show business know that whatever money comes in, whatever deal gets made, if there's a stream of cash income from some project or source, we are going to have to hand some of it over. Show business is all about mugger money. Show business was built on mugger money. Only the muggers in Hollywood, they are technically your business partners. There's a line in the great movie The Grifters with Angelica Houston in which she sums up the relationship economy that makes the entertainment industry work. I'm going to get the line wrong. I just can't find it anywhere right now. But it comes when Houston's character is caught skimming a little off the top by her terrifying mobster boss. And she says essentially, yeah, I did that, but you wouldn't want to have anyone work for you who wasn't smart enough to take a little bit for herself. Taking a little bit off the top, skimming some foam off the deal flow, that is the way some very big companies got started in the very first place. MCA was a talent agency, and then it bought Universal Studios using its skim money. Well, the polite term, I think, is commissions. But they used it to buy one of the biggest movie TV studios in the world, which is now owned by Comcast, which is now a giant behemoth or a small behemoth or about to be broken up. It's hard to know. I haven't checked the paper today. Look, it usually works this way. My agent gets me a job, takes a little off the top, 10%, hands off the actual negotiating to my attorney who takes 5%. Now, some lawyers will still operate on an hourly fee basis, but I'm a little like Pat Hingle, the gangster and the grifters. I want people who work for me to be taking a little bit for themselves. It means they're smart. Everyone gets a fee in show business. Everyone is a mugger in the entertainment business. The agents, the lawyers, even executives, when they get fired, which is, of course, just a matter of time, they end up with development deals or, in some cases, back-end points on shows they've been involved with. Managers get paid as non-writing producers. Pilot directors get perpetual royalties. The whole business is designed to enable even distant bystanders the opportunity to, like Angelica Houston in The Grifters, be smart and get some for themselves. We are picking each other's pockets. In other words, we are carrying around mugger money. It's the tax we pay to be in this chaotic and for some reason still very appealing business. And the interconnectedness of it, the interdependence of all these grifting entities creates a kind of a community, kind of alignment. I mean, we're all taking a few fries off someone else's plate. We should all want those plates to be as full as possible. Everyone is carrying around mugger money because everyone really is mugging someone else. But for some reason, those little exchanges are starting to chafe. Maybe it's what happens when a business is in trouble, but it's starting to be clear that the friendly Richard Scarry's busy town of pickpockets is getting squeezed. I mean, I know a guy who works for a studio, and I hope you could detect the air quotes there with studio, and wants to get some projects going. It's a small, brand new enterprise, and I promise you that you haven't heard of it, but it's already running into headwinds because the owner-operators don't want to spend any money for stuff like, little stuff, shopping agreements, life rights, the small costs around developing material. It seems like someone is trying to pick their pocket and they hate it. And that is true. Someone is, but that is sort of how it's done. Okay, small thing, but it's also a big thing. Lunch. We used to order lunch when we were in production, or even honestly pre-production. And it was, of course, something we charged to the production. And it, of course, included everyone on the staff, assistants, everyone. And now that's gone pretty much everywhere because it just seemed to the owner-operators, I'm sure, to the studios or production companies, that it was just like someone stealing your car radio back in the 90s. No radio in car. No lunch on show. But the way the system works is you're supposed to get lunch. You have to shell out for a promising project. I mean, you're going to get mugged, yes. But that's what the mugger money is for in the first place. It makes zero sense for people to try to get into the business of show business, whether it's my friend's de novo studio or a giant online retailer or a legacy studio with new owners. It makes zero sense to get into a business and then start complaining about the way that business is run, because the way it's run is the reason you wanted to get into it in the first place. Be grateful, I say to those foolish cost cutters, the people who think that the problem with show business is that you get lunch. Be grateful that it's only mugger money and not, Charlie Chop-Off, or as we used to call it, packaging. And that's it for this week. Next week, we will give advice. For The Ankler, this is Rob Long.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Rich. I'm the host of the Prestige Junkie podcast. If you love award season or simply want to understand what's going on between now and the Oscars, become a paid subscriber to Prestige Junkie After Party. I'll be bringing in special guests to talk about insights from fall festival season and beyond to help you understand why some of us truly think the Oscars are as important as the Super Bowl. Go to prestigejunkie.afterparty.substack.com and subscribe now.